Shout out to J&J.
So I just want to send a shout out to J&J Sports for having me once again.
This is, episodes, man. You guys got a real good thing going on.
Next, so this one is a bizarre one, and it's kind of centers on maybe hiking, I guess, the sport of hiking.
Yeah.
A British man has been on a 27-year hike around the world, and he's escaped things like freezing weather, Russian police, and even dangerous drug cartels.
Wow. 27 years.
I found this also on the Mirror website. It was a 36,000-mile journey, and it's been 27 years. His name is Carl Bushby, and he's 56, and he's British. And he had set off from Chile on November 1st, 1998.
So he was pretty young. He was still pretty young when he started.
Yeah, you really got to commit yourself to something
that,
like this.
yeah.
And it seems like it's been throughout his whole youth.
By himself, with no family, yeah.
Can you imagine a journey like this?
I mean, honestly, James, no. That's 27 years is like, nah, that's too long.
I wonder if you are hiking like this, you get used to always waking up in a new place. Always something different.
Right.
So if he stays in one spot,
is his goal was kind of like to just go all around the world, or like?
Yeah, he was saying he doesn't want to use any transport whatsoever. So he just wants
no cars,
just to walk.
Just walk. Okay.
He was saying.
I know one thing. He's gonna be real healthy for sure.
Yeah, when he was walking through Alaska, he actually ended up stranded on a chunk of ice 28 miles from the coast when it broke off during a storm.
Oh, no, that's scary. I know that's scary.
He also survived a close encounter with a polar bear. He said the polar bear was more freaked out of him than he was.
That's good.
Ran off from each
That's
other.
a good thing. I think polar bear, like regular bears, is different, but polar bears, I think they kind of do their own thing.
Yeah, but polar bears are scary because they don't eat like plants or anything; they just eat meat.
Right.
So I'd be freaked out if I saw one.
Absolutely.
And some of the coldest weather that he dealt with was minus 51. And he was saying, though, if there was a wind chill, then it was more like minus 97 or 98. And he's saying, it's painful, stressful. The world is literally trying to kill you at that point. You feel your joints freezing.
That reminded me kind of the freeze that was out here, James. Well, it wasn't that low, but yeah, it was in the negative.
Is it amazing that he survived at all?
Yeah. I mean, God was with him for sure. Negative 50, 90. Yeah.
He is a pretty hardy guy, though. He's a former British paratrooper. And he was just 28 years old and a veteran of 12 years in the parachute.
Oh, okay. So he kind of already knew, like, what to do. He kind of, he was already kind of equipped already.
Yeah, do you think his military training helped him?
Yeah, it did. Because any regular person probably wouldn't have made it that long. Pneumonia, all that stuff. So, yeah.
He had decided to walk from Hull to the southern tip of South America without using any forms of transport to progress. And he actually, when he was in the military, that's when he got the idea to possibly hike around, because he had access to maps of all around.
Okay.
And
that's cool. That's pretty cool.
He was working in intelligence, and that kind of started everything, just him looking at the map.
Yeah.
So, it sounds like these maps are probably the reason that he wanted to get going.
I mean, yeah, if I had a map and it kind of showed me, I'd try something too, probably later in life. But, yeah.
He's been through Russia a few times, but he said that he always gets arrested. And
I heard Russia is pretty strict. Yeah, I heard some things.
Yeah, a quote from him, he said it was dodgy, though it kind of all have ended there if Russia had not let him back in. Mm-hmm. And although since then he has gone to Russia, but each time they strip his computer down. So I wonder how he charges like a laptop out in the woods.
Right, like how is he? I don't know, man. Is he even using I don't know.
I would try to get one if they
or
have,
I know you can
power.
get some aluminum foil. He probably has some equipment with him,
like a solar powered type thing to charge everything.
Yeah.
And he was even saying, though, after Russia had invaded Ukraine, he wasn't able to enter the country again. So he actually instead had to swim 186 miles across the Caspian Sea, which is known as the world's largest lake.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just wondering, does this put him in the category of a multi-sport athlete?
Yeah, absolutely. Swimming, running, yeah, absolutely. Because
And hiking is a sport, but I'm wondering, is that still a sport to him if that's all he does?
probably not. Probably after a while, he's like,
That's just his
that's
life. I
That's
guess.
lifestyle. Yeah.
And then I'm also kind of curious how often he maybe has to change his boots because I
Oh
wonder how many
yeah,
pairs of boots.
27 years, man. If he was paying, I'd say like 1,000 boots.
Oh yeah,
27
he's
years.
probably got a few different pairs. Maybe he like.
Well, if he have a few different, I'd say like 500. Probably rotation.
So right now he's got less than 2,000 miles left on his walk before he gets back to his home city of Hull. And
Where was that at?
it's in Britain.
Oh, okay.
And he said getting home, he just doesn't know. It's weird. It's a very strange place.
Oh, I know it's gonna be weird now.
And he said where your purpose for living will have a hard stop. So he's living to hike, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, you've been doing something for so long. It's like you don't really care about the old stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of sad what he says. He says he's hoping to transition into other things as quickly as possible and keep his mind, body, and soul on the move.
Yeah.
And he said reuniting with his family would involve getting to know each other again. So I guess he hasn't seen them.
In 27 years.
They could have visited him somewhere along his hike too, but and I
Called
assume
or
called or
something. Yeah.
I didn't even consider this part of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Considering he hasn't been home
with his right? That's something. Yeah. He don't have kids or
he was 28 the last time he was home. So he's 56 now.
56. Oh yeah, it's been a minute.
That's a long time.
That's like if you going there for jail to throw some time.
And when he went through Colombia, he said he had to disguise himself because he's got blonde hair, so he dyed it black. He was wearing rags, and he was mainly trying to escape the attention of the drug cartels there.
Oh, okay.
And he was
I get it. Yeah, okay.
In one situation, he put up a hammock in some really dense jungle, and he said that he could hear about 20 or 30 men with their weapons clicking, walking past him just about, 30 feet away. And luckily it was at night. They didn't spot him.
They didn't spot him, yeah.
So he says Russia, he gets a lot of trouble there, and it's scarier there. But this Colombia thing, that sounds terrifying.
Yeah, the cartel, I think that's probably a little bit more serious. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if he's found out there in the jungle, he's never going to be heard from again.
Yeah, absolutely. So that guy was with him for sure.
He said, a quote here, and I actually kind of like this quote. It kind of ties the whole thing up really well. He's reestablished his faith in humanity, the overwhelming support and kindness that you find in the world, and that stood out from the very beginning. He's found that in every country.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that overall method?
That's a good thing. That's a good thing that you was able to find good people everywhere you were at. Of course you're going to experience some crazy people, but to have different good people in different areas is good. It's a good thing.
Yeah, I know, a lot of times people take a real negative view of the world and stuff of the planet, but
you got to go out there and see.
Yeah, he's been everywhere, it sounds like, and it sounds like, there's a lot more of a positive message about
negative. Yeah, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing because that is a long time, for sure.
And then, I was wondering too, so, when he was forced to swim, because he was forced to do it, is that still considered a sport, I guess, swimming? Or that was just part of his transport?
Well, he had to, so it's like half and half, I think. Because, but that I know he's a pro swimmer now. I know he can swim, and that's a hard thing to swim that long because it's like no land, you swimming, like people get tired, they drown, different stuff. So, yeah.
But y'all, please let us know what you think about that. And
J&J Sports.
Coming to y'all live in 2025.